Hello, everyone. Today I am going to talk about a Squid Game theory that I've been thinking of since April of this year. I wanted to post it now because I thought that if I posted it just a few days before season 3, it would get some traction. Forgive me if this video's editing is literal trash or the text-to-speech is basic. But anyway, today's theory will be about the player numbers across the other countries that have their own Squid Game like America. And I think I can find out the player numbers. And which Squid Game would be the deadliest? If this theory was made by someone before then, forgive me because I've searched far and wide, and yet I haven't found anyone who made a theory like this. And with that, let the theory begin. So, the calculator theory is that all the games across the world have different numbers. Now, if you look at a calculator, you'll see the numbers 4, 5, 6. Now, you're thinking probably that this means nothing and this theory is stupid, but if you look at all the numbers above, you can see the numbers. 1, 2, 3. Now, in countries like China where the population is going down, the Chinese games may have 123 players in them, which would be 12.3 billion Chinese yuan. Or maybe in countries like India or Bangladesh, where their population is rising, they could have 789 players, making the prize pool 78.9 Indian rupees, or 78.9 taka for Bangladesh. Or heck, maybe the Indian games could have 7410 players, or 963 players, making the prize pool either 74.10 billion Indian rupees or making it 96.3 billion rupees. Now, I do personally believe that the most deadliest games would probably be the games of the USA. Imagine one of the games being as Simon says, and then the speaker says the game is over. But as you're leaving, you hear, I didn't say Simon says. There's a high chance everyone would die in that game because people wouldn't be focused on that, or heck, it could leave only a handful of people remaining. Now, countries like Turkmenistan or Kazakhstan probably don't have their own Squid Games due to them being landlocked countries. Also, small countries like Bahrain or Kuwait or Qatar or even Luxembourg probably also don't have a Squid Games due to their countries being either landlocked or so small to the point that if they had an operating Squid Game island, it would get caught. In the Arabian Gulf, there are boats constantly monitoring the area, meaning it's physically impossible for them having Squid Games because they would definitely be caught within the first year, because a random island in the middle of the Arabian Gulf would raise suspicion amongst the governments. Also, something that isn't really connected to this theory in a way. I 100% believe there is a worldwide host that all hosts and frontmen submit to. In season 1, the frontman was speaking to somebody. Now, you might think he was talking to the host or the VIPs, but he mentions the host is awaiting the VIP's arrival, meaning there has to be some worldwide host. And in a recent interview, the actor for the frontman, Lee Byung-hun, was asked if there is someone running the games besides the frontman, and he pressed O and X, meaning there's a high chance it was a yes, but he didn't want to spoil the reveal. That's all for today's theory. I truly hope creators like No One Asked or other Squid Game theorist channels acknowledge this theory and maybe use it in their videos. Let me know in the comments what you think of this theory and if I should do more theories.